It's time to cut ties with what no longer serves you. Hey y'all, I'm Jasmeen, the owner of House of Chiron Astrology and Reiki, and I make the language of astrology digestible for all of y'all. So welcome back to my channel if you are returning. But if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you will not miss anything that I upload, anything that I have for you. I do these things throughout the month, every month. So we have a new moon video, we have a full moon video, we have a monthly overview video, then I do little quick videos throughout the month. So go ahead and subscribe because you get all the tea and all the info here at House of Chiron. Okay. So, without further ado, we're going to be talking about this full moon lunar eclipse that happens at 5 degrees Libra. Okay. This is happening on March the 25th. So, it just depends on where you are in the world. Of course, you could feel it anywhere between March the 24th, late in the evening, or early morning on the 25th. I know that here in Texas, it is peaking at about 2 a.m. on the 25th. So, depending on where you are, you might really feel it intensely late night on the 24th. Okay. So, like I said, this full moon lunar eclipse is going to be at 5 degrees Libra, and it is the start of eclipse season, the first eclipse of 2024. So, we're going to be having some more eclipses throughout the rest of the year, and it's going to be on that Libra and Aries axis. So, you're going to be seeing certain themes come up about balance and partnerships and interpersonal connections versus, your own initiatives, your own self-image, the things that you want to do for yourself, your confidence, things like that. Okay. So let's just dive right on into it, shall we? Now, it's going to be full and bright and, here, ready. But first and foremost, we're going to talk a little bit about like what an eclipse is and why is it so, big. And why we talk about eclipses and then talk about the Libra energy and the moon energy. And just so that way you can have like a full understanding of what is to come with this full moon, this eclipse. And then later on, we will get into what this means for you individually by your sign. So now, this is going to be marking a auspicious time, right? So where the astrology forces kind of blend in to illuminate the path towards balance and harmony, right? So that Libra energy. And this is like this is a lunar eclipse. And so what is that? What does that mean? Right? So it's when the sun, moon, and the earth are in alignment on the ecliptic, which means that they are on the sun's orbit. So this is creating an intense and energetically charged atmosphere down here on earth, right? So, eclipses hold that profound significance as they signify potent portals of transformation and closure. Because although it's an eclipse, it's still a full moon. So I like to say it's like a full moon on steroids, or it's a full moon, like just a real hyperactive, intense full moon. So it still has the themes of a full moon, which represents releasing and letting things go and something coming to a culmination or its fullness, right? Like the moon ending a chapter or, some type of cycle. But since it's an eclipse and it's on that sun's ecliptic, the sun intensifies the energy of any planet that it comes into close connection with. If you think about like when we have Mercury cazimis, they come together and it intensifies the themes and energy of Mercury. It's the same thing when it comes to this full moon. So the sun is really intensifying that. And, this full moon eclipse in particular is signifying a significant ending that is setting the stage for a series of closures and transitions that are going to be happening over the next 6 months, especially in areas related to our social interactions, our interpersonal connections and relationships, and other things that we have been committed to. So, speaking of that, let's get into the Libra understanding of things. So, what is Libra? Libra is a cardinal air sign, right? It governs those themes of balance and harmony and relationships, like we were speaking about. And so, with this eclipse occurring in the sign of Libra, this is signaling a time of culmination and closure in the matters pertaining to our social dynamics, because Libra is a social sign. Is ruled by Venus. It's all about beauty and the things that bring us pleasure. It's also art. It defines our taste, right? So it's bringing closure to not only those social dynamics, but relationships as well. And whatever is not bringing you that balance, or whatever is not bringing you that sense of pleasure, or, joy, no enjoyment, no pleasure in your life, you just got to let it go. If it's bogging you down, if it's creating imbalance, if it is creating strife or any type of strain, you're probably going to be seeing a lot of themes associated with certain aspects of your life kind of coming to a close, or you just naturally releasing it, or it could be just releasing itself. Now, it also may bring the conclusion of other particular social interactions, whether it's in work, it could be friendships, just other things that you need to part ways with, certain relationship dynamics that no longer serve our growth. So it doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is going to end. It could mean that a particular situation or a particular dynamic within that relationship is going to come to a close because it's not serving either party that is involved. Okay. So, moreover, okay, this eclipse is situated on the south node, right? So we know that the nodes are in Aries and they are in Libra. And so for the next 6 months to a year, as long as the nodes are here in Aries and Libra, we are going to be really feeling this process of like energetic clearing and releasing pertaining to our initiatives and the things that we do for others. So this alignment really encourages us to let go of outdated patterns and beliefs that hinder our progress. It's going to help us pave the way for transformation and renewal, especially within our partnerships and how we show up, not only for others, but how we show up for ourselves, right? Things that we do for us, putting ourselves first. So also on the opposite end of the south node is the north node. So the north node, like I said, it's in Aries, and this represents the future growth and the evolution that we're trying to obtain. And sometimes we can get a little bit obsessive with that. So depending on where Aries is in your chart, you're probably kind of like really focused on that. And so this is indicating that the eclipse holds a potential for significant shifts and advancement in our personal journey. Because right now, with the North Node being in the sign of Aries, we are really on a personal journey towards obtaining our self-identity, our, initiatives, being confident, being courageous, being bold, being in that Martian kind of energy, right? Because Aries is ruled by Mars. So keep that in mind. Now, let's get into the numerology about this just a little bit. Okay. So I find it interesting that this full moon eclipse is happening at 5 degrees. And, it's in Libra. So it adds a different layer of significance to it, right? So in numerology, the number 5 symbolizes change and freedom and adaptability, but also it is a Leo number, right? So it represents being bold and creative and expressive. So this might be some bold, radical changes that promote freedom, but we have to remain adaptable. We have to remain open to change, right? Not going into this thing like, yeah, we're releasing and we're releasing for a certain purpose, but not really being fixed on how that's going to manifest for us later on down the road. It invites us to embrace transformation and to step into new opportunities, not only with an open mind, but also with courage and resilience. So I love that it's at 5 degrees and it's adding that layer to this cardinal Libra energy that's all about, taking off and doing something new. So, this placement at the eclipse, with the eclipse being at 5 degrees, is really underscoring that transformative nature, urging us to embrace the change and embrace the journey of self-discovery as well as growth. Now, also, it's aligned with the transformative energy of Pluto. So this is the only aspect really that this eclipse is making is one to Pluto that's in the sign of Aquarius, right? So, and it's a positive alignment that it's making, right? It's a harmonious trine aspect that is happening with Pluto and Aquarius and this moon, this eclipse moon. So it's offering opportunities for us to have deep emotional healing and empowerment, not only within ourselves, but within our partnerships, our friendships, any type of connection or commitment that we've made. So Pluto's influence really encourages us to kind of dive beneath the surface and address any underlying issues that could be holding us back and hindering transformation and growth, in our relationships, within ourselves, within our psyches, within, things that could be hidden, could be coming up to the surface within this, but it's not going to be like at a, like it's not going to be like a crisis kind of energy, although eclipses do kind of bring that energy with it. Like, it always has to be like a crisis that promotes a change. This not necessarily, because Pluto's energy is here in a positive and supportive way. Okay. Now, also, like I was saying, it's making this harmonious trine of Pluto. This is also amplifying the potential for positive change and empowerment. And so this aspect invites us to embrace that emotional authenticity, own your feelings, own how you feel, own your emotions, all those things, and own it with vulnerability, right? Because vulnerability requires courage and strength, especially as we navigate the complexities of relationships and fostering great intimacy and building connections and really commanding our lives for what it is that we want it to be, releasing anything that is not in alignment or does not fit in that, right? So, in essence, this full moon is really beckoning us to seek balance and harmony within ourselves, within others, within our situations, within our work environments, within our daily lives, even in the most mundane ways. It's encouraging us to seek that balance and seek that harmony and release anything that does not align to that. It's also encouraging us to cultivate relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, and also cooperation. Communicate, just talk, and do so effectively, right? Do so in a way that is, healthy, right? Healthy forms of communication. So it's also telling us that we need to tap into the emotional maturity in order to have communication as well as understanding to, decide what's best for not only ourselves but for others to decide that as well. Okay, now as we navigate this current energy, especially the current energy that's promoting or supporting our current lives, we are really needing to embrace the wisdom and balance of equilibrium, right? Think about what equilibrium is, just balance, right? Allowing that radiant, full of light, that moonlight, allowing it to guide us towards where it is that we need to go, allowing it to be the guiding light through the darkness, right? Because we don't necessarily see what's ahead. The power of the unknown is really powerful. And it's okay to embrace the unknown. It's okay to dive head first into the abyss, but you just got to have trust, and you got to have faith that you're going to land on your feet. You got to have trust and faith that you're going to land where exactly you are needing to be, where you are destined to be. So make sure that you are, releasing with the intent that your future is going to be filled with peace, harmony, and unity. Very Libra energy. All right. So that is what I have for the overview of this Libra eclipse. Now, before I dive into the readings for all 12 signs, I just want to remind you all for, quick little things. First and foremost, we got the House of Chiron merch shirts. I have one on right now. I don't know if you can see it. But yes, this is the Astro and Afros t-shirt line. So we have that. We have hoodies, beanies, hats, all the good things, t-shirts. We also have the Cosmically Locked line. So that's for the people who have the beautiful locks. There's a shirt for you too, for men and women. So this is just the women's line, but we also have men too. So something to represent for you. Also, with the merch, we have astrology readings as well as Reiki sessions. They are available, but they are first come, first serve. Only do a limited amount per month because, like y'all know, I'm in grad school and doing too much probably. But that's just what I do. I'm a Gemini. So we have that available. And then also, what else do I have? Oh, don't forget to go to the website and download your free PDF cheat sheet guide so you can understand all of what I'm talking about. When I be saying aspects and squares and trines and, all that good stuff, make sure you go and download that free PDF. It's about 30 pages of knowledge for free, and you can follow along with some understanding. Okay. So that being said, that's all that I have for my announcements. Now let's dive into the energy for all 12 signs. And first, before we do so, just would like to remind you that you should be listening for all 3 signs. I encourage you to listen for your sun, moon, and rising, okay? And it is perfectly okay if you are cross-watching and listening for a loved one or a child. Make sure you're listening for all 3 of their signs as well. Okay, so First and foremost is going to be your rising sign, right? So your ascendant, that's going to be first, is most accurate. It pertains to what's actually going on in your life, where this energy is happening in a certain aspect or area of your life. Okay. And then second is going to be your sun sign. That really pertains to your focus and your goals for the month, or for this energy, so to speak. And like where you're going. It also could like pertain to your career. And then last but not least is going to be your moon sign. That is more subjective, it's more internal, it's more about your emotional space, but it also can reflect your home life, your current living situations also. All right. Now let's dive in for all 12 signs. First and foremost, we're going to start off with Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Now, this eclipse is going to be happening in your seventh house. So this full moon eclipse signals a culmination in your partnership. So something is coming to its fullness in your partnerships and close relationships. So it even could be business partnerships or like your best friend. Doesn't mean that your friendship or your relationship is ending, just something within that is coming to its fullness. All right. It's time to release anything that's bringing imbalance or conflicts and seek that harmony if there is any, right? There's also a trine to Pluto in your 11th house, and this is bringing opportunities for transformation and empowerment through your social connections. Maybe even a friend is empowering you to, stand up for yourself in your relationship, or take a stand on really going after the relationship that you really desire for yourself, okay? Now, for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse is happening in your sixth house. So, this marks the end of a phase in your daily routines as well as your health habits. So, releasing any patterns that no longer serve you and striving for greater balance when it comes to your health, when it comes to your daily habits, your routines, even your work, or maybe the people that you work with. So, it could be that like your favorite employee, someone that you work with, could be leaving the job, or maybe you're leaving one department going to another, or maybe just like how you operate day to day is going to be changing. Maybe you're getting more work, maybe you're getting a raise, right? So I say this because it's also making a trine to Pluto that is in your 10th house. So, Pluto in your 10th house is already saying, hey, you're coming into a very powerful position when it comes to your career, and that you're taking control of where you are going career wise. You're taking control of your responsibilities to the world and how people see you publicly. So, you're going to be stepping into this position of power. Right. And so, with that trine from your sixth house of work and routines, and it's trining your 10th house of career, it's really time for you to make positive changes in your career path, being open to that transformation, being open to that expansion, and possibly a rebirth. Maybe you're going to be embarking on a new career at this time. All right, so for Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is bringing a closing or a culmination in matters of your creativity, your self-expression, maybe even your romantic life, or maybe even with children. So letting go of anything holding you back from fully embracing the joy and the self-expression that lives within you, right? There's also a trine to Pluto in your ninth house, right? So this has a lot to do with travel and your beliefs, your life path, and it's encouraging profound transformation through that exploration and learning something. So also this could be higher education. Maybe you are looking to go back to school, or kind of expand your horizon through learning something new, learning a new belief system, go on a pilgrimage, something along those lines, okay? So, for Cancer, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is highlighting endings and closures in your home and family life. Now, it doesn't mean that you are, leaving your home, in a negative aspect. This is not positive or negative. This is not good nor bad. It is what it is, kind of thing. So, this is releasing any emotional baggage. So you could be like leaving one home and going to another, and it could be a positive thing. Or you could be, moving out of your parents' house, like if you are at that age, or if you are in that cycle or that phase in your life, right? Also, it could see that you are releasing any emotional baggage or family dynamics that are weighing you down. So that's also a possibility. And then there's that trine to Pluto in your eighth house. So it's offering you opportunities for not only deep emotional healing and transformation, but you could be coming into a powerful position of gaining more resources, right? Transforming your finances, or maybe you're getting married. Maybe you are transforming your level of intimacy or your level of unity with your partner, okay? And that could be why you leaving a home. That could be the major transformation that's happening within your home, okay? So for Leo, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is bringing a culmination in communication and learning, right? It's in your third house. So this is releasing any limiting beliefs, any forms of communication or communication patterns that hinder your growth, any perceptions that are not allowing you to really be in balance or harmonious with who it is that you are and your values. There's also that trine to Pluto that's in your seventh house, right? And that's the house of relationships and commitments. So it's empowering you to transform your relationships through authentic communication, through being able to see things from a different perspective, right? Taking the higher ground and looking at it from a bird's eye view and say, okay, I can see how this could be that and not that kind of thing. Communicate, right? But also stand your ground, 10 toes down. Stand on your boundaries, but also kind of like assert yourself in a way that not only are you there to speak your piece, but you're also there to understand someone else's. Okay, so this is kind of like releasing any kind of communication patterns that have held you back or created imbalance in your life. Okay, it also could indicate like school education, it also could indicate something going on with transportation, maybe even your small business. Okay, because those are all third house themes as well. All right. So for Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is marking the end of a phase in your finances and your self-worth. All right. So you might be actually coming into some money or coming into a new line of work, right? Letting go of that scarcity mindset and embracing abundance, because there's that trine that's happening in Pluto to your sixth house that's supporting positive changes in your daily routines as well as your well-being. So this could be, your health is your wealth. So it could be that. It also could be that you're getting a new job offer, around the time of this eclipse moon, and that you're releasing, being from being unemployed or having financial difficulties, and you are bringing in new streams of income. This also could indicate that you are letting one stream of income go to embrace a new one. Pluto being in your sixth house says that you're going to be coming into a powerful position, in your work, in your daily routines, as well as within your health. You're making the necessary changes to bring in a transformation in that area of your life. Okay. So, Libra, sun, moon, and rising, this is your eclipse, right? It's happening in your sign. So, it's in your first house. So, this full moon eclipse is illuminating your sense of self and identity. All right. So, releasing any self doubt or insecurities and embracing your inner harmony, right? Just allowing those things that you have been doing or seeing, or maybe even the things that you have not been doing or seeing, you're releasing it or finally doing it, right? The trine to Pluto is happening in your fifth house. So this is the house of, romance and self-expression. So maybe you're going to be stepping into your authenticity more. Maybe you're going to be encouraged to have creative empowerment and self-expression, tapping more into who it is that you are and showing up in that, stepping in it fully. Okay. So for Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is signaling a culmination in the spiritual journey and inner healing because it's happening in your 12th house, right? So releasing any subconscious patterns or fears that are holding you back. You might also be struggling to like find sleep during this time since it's, happening in your 12th house, and the 12th house rules sleep. Maybe even just having like a powerful breakthrough or release of creative expression or just creativity in general, to where like you're able to tap into something, like you've been having a creative block and now that is released, and so now you're able to kind of like launch something or do something or journey into experience something. There's also that trine to Pluto that's in your fourth house, so this is really supporting profound transformation and your emotional foundations. It might be within the home and family. It could be within your roots or traditions. Also with Scorpio, with it being in your 12th house and that trine to Pluto in your fourth house, it says a lot about ancestral things, as well as like your family lineage, your roots and traditions. You might be healing something or having like a profound breakthrough where you are learning something new. Maybe you found new family members. Maybe you learned about your ancestry. And maybe there's going to be something going on, like maybe with the matriarch of your family or the maternal side of your family with that fourth house energy. And something could be getting healed, even in like your ancestors, right? 12th house represents things that are helping you from behind the scenes that you cannot see, right? It's that spiritual realm. So there might be, if you are into the occult, or you do divination work or just spiritual work in general, this could be a wonderful time for you to do just that. Step into and tap into that spiritual side of things in order to transform your sense of safety and security. Okay. So for Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is happening in your 11th house. So it's bringing closure in your social circles and your aspirations. So it's kind of like letting go of friendships, or letting go of goals, or releasing things that you thought that you really wanted, that really no longer align with your path and what you want to do. Letting go of, if it's not a friendship, it could be social circles or other type of connections. Maybe even taking a break from social media, because the 11th house is social media. Now, also there's that trine to Pluto in your third house, and this is encouraging powerful shifts in your mindset as well as your communication style. So you could be, speaking to a large group of individuals, or to a large organization, or a large social circle, or networking event, or just really taking in or feeling powerful in your communication, feeling powerful in your speech, and communicating more about who you are from an authentic space. And then that brings in networking opportunities and also help you align or achieve your goals. But first, you have to let something go. So it could be that you are letting go of fears, you're letting go of other goals or other aspirations that you thought were really meant for you, but they're no longer aligned with where you are going. Okay. Now for Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising, this eclipse moon is happening in your 10th house. So it marks the end of a phase in your career as well as your public image. So releasing any outdated goals or ambitions, and embracing new opportunities for success, right? What does that look like for you? What does your career path look like for you? Like maybe you started on one path and you're like, you know what, I thought this was for me, but it ain't, and so you're going to be making a shift and a pivot. Now, like I said in the very beginning part of this, when I was giving the overview, this is not just for Capricorn, it's for everyone. I hope so. I hope everyone's listening to all of it. But anywho, it does not necessarily mean that this is going to be happening on the eclipse. So this is going to be something that kind of like triggers now, and you're going to see like a domino effect of these things kind of panning out over the next 6 months. So like right now, you could be embracing or experiencing something that's not really going to come to its fullness until we have 6 months from now, when we are in Libra season or something like along those lines. Okay. Now, like I said, there's a trine that's happening also to Pluto, and Pluto is in your second house. So it has a lot to do with not only your values and your financial situation, but also things that you really have a taste for, and just whatever brings you pleasure. So you could also be releasing and letting go or transforming the things that bring you joy and pleasure in your life, releasing those things that don't align to that anymore and embracing something new. Also, this has a lot to do with finances in your career, right? Second house is money, is income, and 10th house is your career. So maybe you are letting go of a job so that way you can achieve a goal, or you are, bringing in another stream of income in a different way that, transforms your financial situation, but also is more in alignment with your values. Okay. Now, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. This eclipse moon is happening in your ninth house. So this brings closure in matters of higher learning and exploration, letting go of limiting beliefs and opening yourself up to new perspectives. The trine is happening with Pluto in your first house. So this is really supporting personal empowerment and transformation. So this is something that you are doing. You are initiating this transformation by, engaging or indulging into different point of views. Maybe it's in education, it's helping you kind of expand your horizons, so to speak, expand what it is that you truly believe or what you truly care or dare to experience in life, and helping you align to your life path and your overall goals for life, right? That sense of internal but also external adventure. There might also be a travel situation that really meant something to you and you're having to let that go because you have other things that you have to really focus on, like these goals and these things that are kind of like taking up what needs to be done right now. And it's like your personal empowerment, your personal transformation. So you might be putting something on hold or letting it go, or letting a certain ideology about it kind of, release or go. All right. Now, last but not least, we have Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is happening in your eighth house. And, this full moon is highlighting endings and transformations in your intimate relationships and shared resources, right? So this could be that maybe you are, or maybe you were previously married or something like that, and now you're going through like a separation or divorce, or maybe you are no longer tying your resources to another person. Maybe you're no longer sharing resources. Like I said, this might be something that is starting now, but it kind of trickles on for 6 months down the line. Okay. Now, releasing any attachments or dependencies and embrace emotional depth also, right? So if you have been depending on your partner's finances, this could be a time where you are finally getting employed, or you're finally like, oh, okay, now I have my own stream of income. I finally got that job that I really wanted. Like you just graduated and now you can use your degree kind of thing. Or, like maybe you just got a job, or you have found a new, side hustle and you're getting a new stream of income. And, now you have you're more independent financially on yourself. Now, also emotional, right? Because eighth house is very emotional, but eighth house is also psychological. So this could be that any obsessions, anything psychologically that was holding you back, that no longer brings you harmony, you could be releasing and letting those things go, kind of healing it. The eighth house also represents past life situations. So this could be like a past life thing that you are cutting ties with. All right. Now, Pluto is trine your 12th house, right? So this really supports what I was speaking about the ancestral or past life situations, because it also is, 12th house is spiritual. And so there might be something where, with Pluto being your 12th house, is supporting you to grow spiritually and heal in that way as well. And that maybe you are releasing something, or there's some type of reversal or some type of undoing that is happening during this time. And you're really like embracing the let go when it comes to like maybe finances or intimacy, or, relationships and things of that nature, or just being able to be like in connection, or being tied down, or attached to something that no longer serves you. There's a releasing that is happening with that. Okay. So that is all that I have for y'all. Okay. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Libra full moon eclipse. And that if you want to do like a release ritual, I say do it. If that's what you feel called to do. I myself would just be allowing the energy to do what it naturally does, because eclipses are fated, they are karmic, and they're gonna do what they do regardless of what we do. And so sometimes us doing the most, right, trying to control a thing, we create something that we're not necessarily trying to. So I just let eclipses be themselves, and I allow things to kind of manifest as they should. But that's me. You do you. I'm always going to encourage that. Let's see. So last bit of announcements. Make sure you check the description box below, so that way you can find the links to my website for the House of Chiron merch, your Reiki, as well as your astrology appointments, and your free PDF cheat sheet guide. Okay. So y'all have a wonderful lunar eclipse. Happy eclipse season. Also, we are going to be embarking on Aries season very soon. So happy solar return to all of you Aries out there. Love you all. See you soon. Bye.